Welcome back to the podcast. We are here November 17th. This is going to be the first look of week 11 Draftkings lineup breakdown. Okay, we're going to get into this 11 game slate for week 11. Absolutely insane. Then we had some ups and downs last week with the first look. Tua didn't come through. Who else didn't come through? Evan Ingram didn't come through. We had some positive on the quarterback side. Kyler Murray was an obvious play. Huge Hail Mary to DeAndre Hopkins, who I liked as well as a bounce back spot. He definitely, came through, but it was late, but he came through. Let's focus in on this again. We don't have an AK quarterback this week. Now our top QB for this week is Lamar Jackson, and he is in a prime spot going up against the Tennessee Titans, who have a very, very mediocre to below par secondary. Even though Lamar Jackson is not a pocket passer, just the fact that it makes it easier for him to make connections to Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown and Willie Snead, who went off last week. It's only going to be beneficial to him. Lamar Jackson at 7,300 is kind of too cheap, but that was, last year Lamar Jackson. This year Lamar Jackson has been very, very mediocre. As you can see, these 17s, 15s, 14s. That's not what you want when you're paying top dollar. You want a 20 plus. You want 25 plus performance, pretty much. From an 7K and above type of guy. Lamar Jackson is definitely in a bounce back spot. To get probably over 30. It's definitely a good matchup for him. He can do it. He can do it, and obviously you would pair him with the players I said before, Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown, especially if that Nick Boyle injury. I think he might be out for the year. We're going to see on that. Other quarterbacks I'm looking at, Justin Herbert against my bad New York Jets. This is definitely a prime spot for him. He throws it on anyone. He even had a decent performance against Miami. Miami's been shutting down quarterbacks. He still had 20 DK. It doesn't matter. Ever since he's, became the starting quarterback, this man has been a wonder. No one even expected it. Herbert is a great quarterback option at 6,800. Ben Roethlisberger going up against Jacksonville. We don't play James Conner. We play Ben Roethlisberger, okay? This is kind of like the same idea last week with the Packers going up against Jacksonville. Like, what side are you going to choose? We're going to choose the passing side because their secondary is trash, and Pittsburgh Steelers have three great wide receivers. Okay. We have an injury on Drew Brees with the broken ribs and the broken this and the broken that. So the fact that he's out leaves it wide open. I'm gonna skip my other player. Leaves it wide open for Jameis Winston to step in. You know what he can do. You saw what he did with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tons of upside with the touchdowns, but tons of downside with the interceptions. But it didn't matter because he throws so many touchdowns that the interceptions doesn't even matter in DraftKings. Play him. If he's declared the starter, play him. Okay. He might be in majority of my lineups, especially against the Atlanta Falcons, and you can correlate that on both sides. Bring it back with Julio. Bring it back with Ridley if he's healthy. That's what we're gonna do. You're gonna choose one of those two. It's not a Zacchaeus week. Zacchaeus or whatever his name is. Another quarterback I was looking at was Cam Newton going up against the bad Houston Texans defense. You already know the rushing upside. You know what he does at the goal line, as you see touchdowns and back-to-back weeks, as you can see right there. But if I'm also getting, some upside from the passing game with him making connections to Jacoby Myers, you can get another performance of 24 points right here at a cheaper price at 6,200. And that's definitely a good look so far that we're looking at with these quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins is home. He finally broke that curse of the Monday Night Football games. He still threw an interception. It was a bad interception, but came through, got the win. He is now 1-9 on Monday Night Football games. Remember that. He'll probably lose the next one, but I'm just saying, remember that. I'm not gonna say I love Kirk Cousins because it's hard to be, all into Kirk Cousins. He can let you down. As you see what he did against Green Bay, Seattle, Houston. It's so up and down. I don't know if I'll go straight to him. I'll go to his receiver. There's one particular receiver that I really want, but I don't know if I'll go to Kirk Cousins. He's very up and down. The cheaper options, like I said, Tua didn't come through. That was a tough matchup. He has another tough matchup in Denver. A cheaper guy that I'm looking at is going to be Joe Burrow. Another sensational QB, rookie QB like Herbert. Despite the fact he had to face Pittsburgh defense, still put over 200 yards, got a touchdown. He looked decent. They just couldn't score in the red zone. Obviously, this is a top-tier defense in the Pittsburgh Steelers. But he is in a matchup where he can take full advantage. The Washington Redskins have a good has a good pass rush, but the pass defense is a question mark. And he has exceptional, well above average wide receivers to throw to, and T. Higgins and Boyd. We're not going to say AJ Green because T. Higgins has supplanted him clearly. In the running back area, we're going to look at this. We're going to go scan through these. McCaffrey is probably ruled out. Kamara is going to be in a situation where he might be leaned on more with Drew Brees out. Hopefully, he's at 9,200. That's pretty expensive. Dalvin Cook can be in a bounce back performance. He's getting so many touches. Like you might have to. Yeah, there you go. I don't know why they got it mixed up. They got Russian defense 9th ranked, and then when you open it, it got it 31st. I know the Dallas Cowboys run D is bad. Like, yeah. Dalvin Cook is in a bounce back spot. We're going to put him right there. He might be a lock. Aaron Jones, no. Nick Chubb, maybe. But it's not that great. Cleveland's a very tough defense, especially in Cleveland. We're not going to that Mike Davis. Oh, Mike Davis, he's facing Detroit. That's such... Yo, they did that on purpose. They really did that on purpose. Purposely put Mike Davis at 4K like he's a must play, and then the next week he's 6,800. Like, this is the worst. This is the second worst run D, or the worst run D. That I'll have to come back to that. I don't know if I could trust this man, Mike Davis, especially after this performance that we thought was great. It wasn't great, but you thought he'd have more production instead of 8 points. He has 4 weeks in a row with 8 points. Where's the... I don't know if I can go back to him. Fat Mike Tolbert. No. Mike Tolbert Jr. That's what I'm going to call him. Kareem Hunt, no. We're going down. Elliott, he's getting cheap. A dude that I really, really like every week, his snap share is going up, is DeAndre Swift. This man is insane. In the passing game, insane. Look at the average. In the rushing game, rushing right around 5 yards per carry. They need him to get him the ball a little bit more, and I'll be happy. But 6,400 is still too cheap because he can break any play. He can break any play. DeAndre Swift is a very, very good talent. Someone I'm going to be looking out for, especially next year in drafts. I'm going to be very bullish on him. I should have been more bullish on him this year. But I'm seeing it, and I'm liking it. We're going to go down, see if we can find a cheaper guy in a better position. Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick are obviously guys that have been doing very well in the pass-catching department. If you need a cheap guy, as you can see right here, 4 receptions, 3 receptions. He's getting the touchdown work, Antonio Gibson. We're going down some more. Oh, I found a lock. I think I found a lock. Yes, I like this. Damien Harris is the bell cow for the New England Patriots. I already said I like Cam Newton and the rushing upside that he has. I understand that he is the goal line guy, but Damien Harris, he might not. He don't even have to be in the 20 at the 20-yard line. He probably running in from the 30 or the 40. That's how bad this Houston Texans run defense is. You've seen Burkhead the last 2 weeks, but this is a perfect formula for the Patriots to really smash and run the ball down their throats. You see these 22 touches? and 121 yards. And that five, look at these averages: 5.1, 5.5, 6.4, 5.8. He's definitely very, very viable in this matchup. I'm looking at him this week and really putting a stamp on this Houston Texas defense. This is not a good matchup for them, especially the way Bill Belichick is. Oh man, I like Damien Harris this week as well. I told you about J.D. McKissick at 5,200 right here. Not getting much in the rush department, but look at these catches: 9 receptions, 7 receptions, 15 targets, 14 targets. That's absolutely insane. They still haven't boosted him up. He was a steal the last couple weeks at 4K, just getting that many receptions. Duke Johnson, if you want to go back to him, it was a bad game script in bad weather in Cleveland. Maybe he's going to need receptions just to even reach value. I'm not really looking at him this week. And then it's not a great matchup, but he's getting majority of the work. 21 carries from Salvon Ahmed. I'm going to make sure I pick him up in fantasy. But got a touchdown, got the goal line work. Someone to look out for. It's not a great matchup, but if he's getting that many touches, you might as well at 4,800. We're going to move on to the wide receiver scene. We're going to go all the way to the top. Devonta Adams, obviously, he's going to be zeroed in on going up against that Indiana Colts defense. And the quarterbacks I already told you about. We're going to try to correlate with them. I told you about Herbert. People are going to probably be gunning on these two, this Keenan Allen and Michael Thomas combo. But I think Julio Jones is the guy to have. Got to find out news about Ridley. Let's see. He's questionable. If Ridley is out, well, you gotta monitor this. If Ridley's out, Jones might be a lock just because of volume that he's gonna see. Just being the top tier target on that offense, especially in the game script that it looks like it's gonna be a shootout in New Orleans. If Winston is the quarterback, that'll be a huge benefit. And since I said Winston as a quarterback, we want to pair him with Mike Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. Sanders is only 4,900. That is very cheap. Very cheap for someone that has tons and tons of potential in a game script. Like I said, that should be back and forth. Michael Thomas at 7,300. You know what he can do. Still a top tier talent at wide receiver. Just hasn't gotten into a right groove this year. Doesn't even have a touchdown this year. So he is due. What? We're going on. AJ Brown, no, you're facing Baltimore. Sorry, bro. Terry McLaurin, scary Terry. This is a man of consistency right here. Look at the receptions, 7. Does it keep going? He's got a lot of 7s. 7, 10. The targets are there, the yards are there. He's gonna get you double digits every week. You just hope that it's in the 20s. Okay? We already know what this man does. I told you about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me all 3. I could do a lineup with Claypool, Deontay Johnson, and Juju Smith-Schuster and probably win. I probably could. I want to see how cheap is Deontay Johnson. 5,900. They're all around the same price, around 6'1", 6'2", and they all can get you, 3x, 4x of what you pay for. That's absolutely crazy. You literally and still have money to spare. If you go with a Pittsburgh Steelers triple stack with their 3 wide receivers, you still have money. The guy I was talking about that I really love this week is going to be Justin Jefferson. We saw him on Monday Night Football against the stout Bears defense. Didn't matter. 8 receptions, 10 catches. Whatever route he runs, he is exceptional. 135 yards, 24.5 DK. All right. And he still did that, and Thielen got 2 touchdowns. So this man is very productive. A star coming out of LSU. T. Higgins is another guy we're looking at. Burrow's favorite target. He has supplanted A.J. Green clearly. The targets are consistent. The receptions are consistent, and the yards are there. Just hope that he gets into the end zone this week as well. Cheaper options that I'm looking at, I said T. Higgins. A guy we can go back to maybe is going to be Jakeem Grant. I told you this guy was someone to look for, and he came through with 14 DK, got you a touchdown. He was 3K. He was the min price. I gave you a gem there in Jakeem Grant. Denver, another okay defense. Might be keen in a Devontae Parker this week, so Jakeem Grant. And another option is going to be, sorry, a little fandom here, but Brashard Perriman showed me something against Bill Belichick and that defense. 5 receptions, 7 targets, 101 yards, and 2 TDs. As long as Joe Flacco is the quarterback, and he is the quarterback this week, he's going to be connecting with someone he has a rapport with, and that's Brashard Perriman. And they had that connection in Baltimore. Brashard Perriman, I call him Spalding, has another opportunity. They only bumped him up 100 points. I think he might be a lock to fit in at flex with tons and tons of upside in a game script that the Jets are going to be down. So we're going to throw it. He is our best speedster, 4,300. Put in Brashard Perriman. And we're moving on to tight end. Tight end has been a crapshoot all year long. Even Mark Andrews has been very, very up and down. He finally got 9 targets. He just hasn't. When the last time he had a touchdown? He hasn't had a touchdown in 1, 2, 3, 4. This was the whole upside of Mark Andrews was the touchdown production that he did. He was on a ridiculous, rate last year, but it's really hurting me, man. Especially in fantasy. 2 catches, 3. Come on, man. This is a perfect opportunity for him to bounce back. He might be a lock at 4,900. Are you kidding me? Elite tight end at 4,900. Are we used to paying for Kelsey prices? Like, just put him in there. It's Tennessee. They're trash. Defensively wise. Offense is good. Good offense. Sorry, Chris. But defense, ass. All right. Mark Andrews, we love him. Hunter Henry, his target share has been very consistent. Finally got into the end zone. Paid dividends. You can flip a coin with this. This is a tough defense. I don't know if I'm going to Jonnu. It's someone to look out for. Because they probably focus in on A.J. Brown. Noah Fant gets consistent targets every single week. 7, 9, 7. That's rare to see in a tight end. Dallas Goedert, I told you about him last week. Got you 7.3. I think they need to feed him more. He's a favorite for Wentz. TJ Hawkinson. All these guys are like, you can't really pinpoint which one's gonna go. I don't know. Besides Andrews, I don't know. I'm gonna have to dig deeper on that. This is a first look. Gesicki, how you been doing, Gesicki? No, they use that 3 tight end set. It's so annoying. They rotate to too many tight ends. They got Shaheen, they got Gesicki, and they got Smythe. Good luck picking which tight end from the Miami. I'm not touching the Miami Dolphins tight end. No. So far this week, I love Dalvin Cook against the 32nd run defense of the Dallas Cowboys. DeAndre Swift is a high upside running back that's in the mid-range section. A cheap wide receiver play is going to be Brashard Perriman for me. I'll focus in on a main guy later this week. I want to see what the projection of ownership is going to be on Winston. If it's not that too crazy, I'll definitely hop on Michael Thomas at 7,300. I think he's too cheap. And Julio Jones as well in that game, which should be very, very back and forth. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I almost went 20 minutes. 20 minutes. This is the first look, man. This is the first look. We're going to get back to this later in the week. Going to get back to this. Well, I'll zero in. I'll give you the core. I got you. But this all we got for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessengerJD.